because design is not something which is just a design. It will come from who you are, and you may have already noticed it that
How to manage our time.
later on, when in the field, when people hire you, when people work with you, they will not look at
But
marks
your GPA
at all.
matters.
The mistake that most students tend to do is that they work till the last minute. तो जब तक वो शीट पिन अप नहीं हो रही है, उनकी ड्राफ्टिंग ही चल रही है, which means they've actually not worked enough.
You've not thought about how
You've not thought about how. So hello and welcome to my podcast, The Design Journeys. And being a young student yourself, the fact that you've already chosen a profession, uh, I'm very keen to understand the kind of questions that you still may have. And you have a whole college life ahead of you, right? So you may have some questions from that perspective as well, and I'll try and answer them to the best of my ability.
Okay. So the first question, which I think all of us learned throughout first year. Initially, it was not that tough, but how to manage our time, because what happens is the culture that especially architecture colleges or any colleges which have hostels, especially 24/7 ones, have the culture that they have is that people stay up at night and they work. So they'll leave things till the last minute and then they'll pull all nighters and then they'll finish it. So how do you manage your time while doing curriculars and other things in order to finish your assignments but not like mess up your lifestyle?
Okay, very interesting question. So I don't know if I can directly add value to that question because I was not in a 24-hour hostel kind of a setup. But I can say from my experience, our college SEP was also a 24-hour campus, and we also had a lot of activities. I was active in theatre. I had even learned Kuchipudi dance for 3 years in between. So I think the first tip for students would be that I think students tend to overthink a lot. So of course they are taught to think, right? But when they when then when the thinking pattern goes into a tailspin, which you may have noticed, that they're not sure of themselves. So let's say there's an assignment which says that you have to pick up any point of reference. It could be a poetry, or it could be some famous architect or something, and you have to build upon it, right? So I find them uh, going into a tailspin and not being able to divide the right kind of a time. So let's say the deadline is of a week, right? So what should not happen is that you're thinking for 5 days and just working in the last 2 days.
That's what happens.
That's usually what
Mostly.
happens, right?
Yeah.
So in an ideal scenario, you should be able to, even if the deadline is just one day, right? So you should be able to divide, time block it. So आपको पता है कि आपके पास 7 दिन है या आपके पास एक दिन है, तो आप इतने आवर्स हैं, तो आप डिवाइड कर लीजिए कि ठीक है, मुझे कॉन्सेप्चुअल थिंकिंग के लिए आई नीड 2 days, and after 2 days I will freeze it, come what
But
may.
the issue is that even if we do that, I don't think conceptual thinking is something that can just come to you when you choose for it to come to you.
That's again a very nice
It
point.
can come to you whenever. Like, I have a friend and she tells me that sometimes she'll just wake up at 4 in the morning randomly and she would have had a dream about something or she would have thought about something. So she just makes a sketch. Like, subah 4 baje utke, she'll just make a sketch.
Fair enough.
Sometimes it comes in the shower. So, like, it's not like I've tried doing that. Ki, okay, I'll spend 3 days thinking about it and then 5 days to execute it. But at the end of the 3 days, I've gone to the library every single day. I've tried to do everything. But the idea just doesn't come. So how it, I don't.
Interesting. So I totally agree with you. Usually जब आप सोचते हो कि आपको अब ये चीज फ्रीज करनी है, तो तब तो वो बिल्कुल ही नहीं होगी, right? Because mind has a certain way of working. But over the years, what you'll realize is you'll start building your own mental library of references.
Okay.
And concepts भी, ये भी जरूरी नहीं है कि वो 7 दिन के अंदर भी वो कॉन्सेप्ट आ जाए ना. तो उसके लिए बेस्ट इज दैट look for inspiration in your day-to-day life. you could be visiting a place, or you could be just having a cup of tea with someone at a tapri, or you could be just visiting a project, or you could be on a vacation, you could be traveling in a train, and you will see some references. uh, Depends upon, I mean, design is a personal process. Some people get inspired with personal experiences, some people may look at something and get
Hmm.
inspired, some people may read something and get inspiration, or
Hmm.
you may be watching a film and getting inspiration.
Hmm.
So I think you should continuously learn to assimilate your experience of your life into these small small expressions.
Okay.
That's how I do it, and I've seen a lot of people also do it. So that's a mental cataloging. And then when you are ready to, design something, you have this, pool of sort of thoughts and ideas which you've already kind of, explored a little bit.
Hmm.
Because design is not something which is just a design. It will come from who you are, and you
Hmm.
may have already noticed it that
Hmm.
if there are 40 students in your batch, some people may be maybe more theatrical, or they may be more inspired by certain things in life.
Hmm.
Some people may just be loitering around on the campus, and then they find that, eureka moment.
Yeah.
And some people are on the desk, and then that's when they start.
Hmm.
So that, and then I think continuously through the 5 years, you should try and work on, or you should try and explore different processes with the help of which concepts come about.
Okay.
So, and then you will find your sweet spot there somewhere, so something like that.
Okay. And also, we have like our teachers do sometimes tell us that you need to start building your portfolio, like everything that you do will contribute to your portfolio. So what happens is that you do one assignment and then you like something, you figure out that okay, I like this kind of an aesthetic, or I like this sort of, like some people do their projects inspired by nature. So kya hota hai that I think after 6 to 7 projects you start making a pattern in your work.
Yeah.
So how to not stay limited to that and make your portfolio multifaceted, because it's like one building is inspired by a leaf, the other building is inspired by a cocoon, so you're it's just a pattern. So it is your style, but it's isn't it limiting you from discovering other styles?
So first up, I think it's not right to be thinking of the portfolio as an object which you need to present to someone. Of course, you will be compiling a
Hmm.
portfolio, but a portfolio is something which is really naturally an expression of your work. I have seen students, very like, when I mean, over the past 20 years, we have scrutinized thousands of portfolios, and a few times when I interacted with the students in the past, they've said that, our faculty told us that, this has to be the structure of the portfolio, that in the beginning you have to have this, and then in the middle you have to have GFCs or whatever, and then end you can put your paintings or artworks or whatever. ऐसा कोई rule नहीं है, you know. So I don't think you should be under pressure to create the portfolio of in a certain way. A portfolio will definitely be a compilation of whatever you have done.
Hmm.
Having said that, the mistake that most of the students I feel do is that they don't compile in that year, right? So if you finished 1 year, you should ideally be compiling in some way. Of course, scanning, preserving the good sketches, the good drawings that you may have made, or certain experiences, certain assignments that you may have done
Hmm.
in that very year. Otherwise, what tends to happen is when they apply for the internship or the
Yeah.
job which is in 4th year, 5th year, फिर जो बचे हुए remains हैं आपके पास, या जो key
Hmm.
drawings हैं, आप उन्हीं को compile करते हो,
Because the physical things we end up
will
discarding it.
obviously not will perish,
Yeah.
right? So I think it's important to document then and there.
Okay.
And that's why I think the and also documentation skills को develop करना, कि मैं उसको कैसे catalog करूं.
Hmm.
So some very interesting portfolios have come to me over the years, where people have named their projects in a certain way, or they have this, some people have this thumbnail, very nice thumbnail they'll make. So for every year they've made a thumbnail.
Okay.
So they also devise their own way of documenting. Some people are very good with graphics, so
Hmm.
they'll develop a graphic. I'd seen this very beautiful assignment given to SEP students only, where what they'd done is every year was like they had done a postcard, right? So a black and white sketch of your design which is on a postcard, which you can actually post to your friends and parents every year.
Oh.
So I mean, it's up to you how creative and how much fun you want to make the documentation. But the tip would be the document then and there. I would say not even wait for the whole year. Like if you had a semester, and the moment the pause points जब होते हैं ना आपके, तब आपको document कर लेना चाहिए मेरे हिसाब से.
Okay.
Even if it's a soft documentation, and then you put it all together at the end of the year.
Okay. And another issue that I think a lot of students face is with the faculty. So what happens is, like in a college, there's in most colleges there are different sections. It's not just one section.
Yeah.
So different sections get different teachers. So if there's one particular or two particular teachers who teach in a more open-ended, more worldview-ish type of way, and some are more conventional, more methodical, and like those sort of things. So how do you cope up with that? Because we do find sometimes that some subjects which are like, for example, design is
very faculty driven.
Yeah, exactly. So
I
how
understand
do you
what
cope
you're
up
saying.
with that?
I understand what you're saying. So, see the whole design program, the whole 5 years program of architecture course is structured in a manner such that you get exposure to different types of faculty. Some conventional, some very very explorative, some very pushy, whatever. So the idea is that, it's like saying that in the profession, my clients or those clients are not good, or those clients are very good. They let you do stuff, but the other guys limit you a lot, they question you a lot. So they are training you to perform in life, because the faculty who is sort of stock taking, who's guiding you, and who's also at the same time questioning you at every semester, every stage, is also very much like life. In profession you will get different kinds of clients, and you will have to learn to cope up with all of them. So I would say that you should first of all embrace it. As in our office we say it's the nature of the beast, right? That is how it is, that you will always get a different package to deal with, whether that's a faculty or that's a client later on in the profession. You cannot blame the other. It's your response which you have to adjust and sort of work with. अगर आपको लगता है कि सम फैकल्टी इज वेरी कन्वेंशनल, तो आप उनके पॉजिटिव्स को एम्ब्रेस करिए, बट डोंट लूज योर एसेंस. And I don't think that faculty is foolish enough to kind of not let the students express their design, even if they don't agree with it.
No, but what happens a lot of the times is that, for example, like some faculties you just can't relate with them. Like what happens is, for example, if some people are really old and then still they have the like they can teach well, they can interact with you. But sometimes what happens is that even if they have the knowledge, they're not able to make the children relate to them. So even if you want to explain something to them or they want to explain something to you, that chemistry doesn't sit right. So then us case mein how can we imbibe their positives?
Yeah, it's a nice thing that you've said. But so first thing is that the ways may be old, or the ways might be different, but the essence of what they are trying to teach will never change. That is the nature of design, right? So मैं अगर उस तरह से आपको differently explain करूँ with an example, the tools may change, but the basics of the design don't change, right? So if your work still embodies a good design and a good design process, you don't have to relate with the faculty, right? You have to communicate with them, right? तो कम्युनिकेशन के लिए आपको अपने आप को सिखाना पड़ेगा. हर तरह की फैकल्टी से आपको कम्युनिकेट करना सीखना होगा, बिकॉज फैकल्टी विल नॉट चेंज their ways. They are set in a certain way and they're going to teach you in a certain way. But आप एनालाइज करिए ना कि अगर ये ओल्ड एंड एक्सपीरियंस्ड हैं, then maybe they have a very good understanding of scales or sizes, and you question them, you ask them a lot of questions, they will explain in their own ways. मान लीजिए आप कोई डिजिटल टूल्स यूज करके एक प्रोसेस लाना चाहते हैं, द फैकल्टी इज नॉट अग्रीइंग विद इट, दे हैव देयर ओन वेज ऑफ डूइंग इट, but you demonstrate it then, na? Because they may not even be aware of this new tool that may have come in the market and which may allow certain kind of explorations. So I would say that you should demonstrate and show to them And I don't think that any faculty is closed enough to uh, I think most students, what they the problem that happens is that most students give up even before trying. कि ये तो समझेंगे नहीं. How can I explain? How can I
बट
relate to
देन
them? How can I
दिमाग में
communicate with
ये
them?
थॉट आता है ना दैट लाइक सबसे पहले तो द रिस्क ऑफ लाइक कि फेल ना हो जाए.
Don't
That's the
think so.
because it's very common in most colleges to fail people. So one that and then they're like anyways time nahi hai so let's just listen to what they're saying and do it even if I'm not that happy with it करके खत्म करो marks मिल जाए that sort of thing.
I wouldn't say that that's the right thought process at all, because अगर आप थ्रू आउट द डिज़ाइन स्टूडियो आप फैकल्टी के साथ कम्युनिकेट कर रहे हैं, I think students should have the confidence to tell the faculty, sir, I don't agree with this. Can I try it in this way? Of course, you have to mold your design as per their feedback, and you can't be stuck there because they are coming with a place of experience and teaching. But it's important to always be not conforming, but also exploring and questioning. And I don't think that one should work from a place of fear at all. I don't think marks are important at all. When later on, when in the field, when people hire you, when people work with you, they will not look at just mark. They will not look at
But your
marks at
GPA
all.
matters for masters.
It does. A good student, if you've given your best, you will always be in a good, relatively good span of a GPA. That's, I think that's okay. I don't think that one should be bothered. Okay, मेरे marks बहुत अच्छे आ जाएं, मेरा design चाहे जैसा भी बने. Oh, I don't relate to this design, but let me just make it. Because यही decisions आपको life में भी लेने पड़ेंगे ना फिर बाद में. The client's not agreeing with it. You can either choose to leave the project, or you can explore and be persistent and give them something that is like a balance, or you can make something which the client may not even agree with, and give something which is extremely sort of so explorative that even the client's not able to relate to it. तो ये decisions तो आपको life में भी लेने पड़ेंगे.
Then sometimes what happens is जैसे design की jury होती है, so there are all types of jurors. So now for example we have spent an entire 3-4 months working on that design. अच्छे से sheets वगैरह सब बनाया है, बहुत time लगा है और lot of all nighters we've pulled. And then what happens is some jurors are just like, especially like in my case, my roll number is in the end. It's like the second last roll number. So a lot of them are just like चलो अब हो गया जल्दी जल्दी खत्म करके निपटाओ. तो क्या होता है कि after the jury it just lasts for 5-10 minutes and then ultimately sometimes you're left with this thing कि oh मैंने आधी चीजें तो बोली ही नहीं.
Very
Like
nice.
it just lasted for 5-10 minutes and I had spent 4 months on it and the juror came, they listened to it, they went. So now what do you do?
Very good question. Very, very good question. And it's not just that because somebody's roll number is in the end. Somebody might say कि मेरा तो roll number first है और मुझे तो सबसे ज़्यादा pressure point है, because I know after listening to 5 to 10 juries, I'm still in a sweet spot where I know कि हाँ कैसे respond कर रहे हैं. यहाँ तो मेरे पास कोई point of reference ही नहीं है. Everybody will have some reason or the other, but इसका एक मैं टिप देना चाहूँगी, वो ये है कि आप पहले से अपने आर्ग्यूमेंट को या अपने प्रेजेंटेशन को अपने माइंड में रन करके चलिए. द मिस्टेक दैट मोस्ट स्टूडेंट्स टेंड टू डू इज दैट दे वर्क टिल द लास्ट मिनट. तो जब तक वो शीट पिन अप नहीं हो रही है उनकी ड्राफ्टिंग ही चल रही है, which means they've actually not worked
So
enough.
you've not thought about how
You've not thought about how, but in the field, in the profession, we run through the presentation, especially when we are working in a larger team. We run through the presentation 3 to 4 times, and when there are different people, then they question it. So a very good idea would be that you finish your task at least a day or two in advance, and then get your friends to pin it up and do mock juries. Like even during mid semester, your other friends can ask you, why didn't you do this, or so you'll get an idea of the kind of questions that a third person may have. And plus you should have your notes कि मुझे ये 5 चीजें तो कवर करनी ही करनी है कि मेरे. एंड अल्टीमेटली इट इज ट्रू, आपको 4 महीने की बात को वहां 10 मिनट में जाके तो बोलना ही है. मतलब दैट्स व्हाट इट इज. सो यू पॉसिबली कांट समराइज एवरीथिंग, but what you can do is you can summarize everything either in the form of some documentation or some images, and keep your talk to just the key points that you want to. एक चीज इसमें और भी होती है कि आप जब जूरी में होते हो तो आपको अपने डिजाइन की वीकनेसेस भी पता होती हैं और स्ट्रेंथ्स भी पता होती हैं. तो a very smart thing to do would be to not focus much on the weaknesses, but talk about the stronger points, and so that the faculty is able to see the strengths of the design and not so much into the limitations. So, and I think jury is a lot about defending, how to learn. I mean, the learning of how to defend your the other
Different.
person's questions and answer them
Hmm.
to their satisfaction. I think that's what. And you may have noticed that there are people who जिनके डिजाइन थोड़े कम भी अच्छे होते हैं, but वो अच्छे से हैंडल कर लेते हैं.
हाँ.
तो आप उस समय पे थोड़ी ठंडी सांस लेके अपने इमोशंस को बैलेंस रखें.
True.
एंड द अदर थिंग इज नेवर लेट इट कम टू यू कि ओ मेरा डिजाइन अच्छा नहीं है, मैं अच्छी नहीं हूँ, मैं नहीं कर पाई.
Hmm.
You need to go there. It's like a stage performance. You've been on stage a lot, so you know what I'm talking about. When you're on stage, you can't let even a single negative thought come into your mind,
Yeah.
because that's going to make your performance hollow and it's going to show through. So you need to put your best foot forward, and it's the same in life when you give presentations to the client as well.
Okay. And one of the main questions, which, because like if a lot of people's families or backgrounds are not very much aware about architecture,
Yeah.
so एक बहुत बड़ा misconception या conception जो भी है is that architects don't earn a lot, especially if it's not already there in your family. You will start out as a fresher, आप internship पे जाओगे, आपको क्या 10-11 हज़ार रुपए मिलेंगे महीने के. Whereas some people who are doing other things might start earning a lot much earlier, and कोई guarantee भी नहीं है that you'll be successful. So that's one of the major things that a lot of, because जब मैं college में आई थी first 1 or 2 months, when I was talking to our seniors, so they also said कि कहाँ फंस गए हो, like चले
Yeah.
जाओ. It's
Yeah, I understand what
so
you're
much
saying.
work and no output.
Yeah. So first up, architecture as a field is a lot of hard work, right? Physical work and long hours of work. That's something that should be embraced by the person who has made that choice. Secondly, it is an apprenticeship based profession, which is it's a professional practice. So just like in a medical profession or in a law profession or architecture, जब आप ग्रेजुएट होते हो तब आप एक्चुअली आर्किटेक्ट नहीं होते हो. आपके पास बस एक डिग्री है दैट यू हैव बीन ट्रेन्ड. आप एक कोर्स करके आए हो. उसका मतलब ये नहीं कि आप उस समय एक बिल्डिंग बना सकते हो,
Yeah.
राइट? यू
Yeah.
हैव टू लर्न. एंड हर जने का अपना अलग अलग लर्निंग प्रोसेस है. तो फर्स्ट 8 to 10 years is going to be learning, right? And you can choose to develop into your own. आप मास्टर्स करना चाहते हैं, आप how much time you want to devote to learning, and then how much time you want to devote to practice. That's why it's called a professional practice. The more you practice, the better you would become at it, because then you would be more aware of the कि ऐसे किया जाता है ये काम, right? So yes, I agree with you. Initial 8 to 10 years are more struggling, and financially they may not even be that rewarding. But there are ways. People do design and build. People do um, people, I would not call it a side hustle really, but they can like I mean, I in our team also we have a few people who do for more earning. On weekends they do another side. If now I know this one person in our office, she does portraits on the side, and she has some kind of an online platform where she sells some products or stuff. So I think if you're very much in need of money, then I would say that it can be a bit of a struggle in the beginning. But I think you should not compare yourself with other, people in, because in a job then there are other kind of limitations, right? In architecture, it's a very open, explorative kind of a profession where uh, it's your life itself is so creative that every day is just full of joy and fulfillment, which I don't know if I've not been in the other fields, if it is there in the other fields or not. Eventually, I don't think that architects earn less and they are poor. I don't think so. Yes, just like any entrepreneur, you will have to learn to solicit work, and you will have to learn the nuances of running your own firm. So, managing a team, managing finances, getting loans, uh, retention, training, seeking work, how to sell, how to market yourself, how to document, all of those things which are not taught by the way, but you will eventually have to learn. And if you have to make your own practice, and there are good and very well paying jobs at senior levels if you're in a job as well. So I don't fully agree with it, and I think one should not question, especially in the beginning. I think money is the last thing that one should be thinking about. आप स्किल सीखने आए हो, पहले स्किल तो सीखो ना.
One thing that happens in our generation is that अब जैसे मैंने जो नोटिस किया है, बाकी कोर्सेज जो होते हैं जो कि मे बी इतने फिजिकली या टाइम वाइज डिमांडिंग नहीं होते, people do other things, you know, they're influencers, they have some sort of other way, कुछ लोग stocks में invest करते हैं, things like that. But what happens is that architecture में आपके पास
टाइम ही
काम
नहीं
ही
होता है.
इतना होता है, आपको सोने का टाइम नहीं मिलता, so people are not able to do that.
That's what I'm saying. You should not while you're in the college, you should not sully your mind. You should not contaminate your mind with thoughts of survival, money, and
But
stuff.
हमारी जनरेशन में everyone is so like, oh hustle, business खोलना है,
ये आपकी
ये
जनरेशन
वो.
का ही नहीं है, ये प्रोफेशन में आने के बाद भी दिस शार्क टैंक हैज एक्चुअली डिस्टर्ब्ड अ लॉट ऑफ people who were happy in their jobs and they were earning suddenly like oh ये भी कर सकते हैं, let's earn money, ये भी कर सकते हैं, let's
Yeah.
earn money. I think it's a changing world. I'm sure that will bring about a lot of changes. I've seen a lot of uh, students also get into startups and stuff
From architecture.
from architecture background. Yeah, design based
Oh.
startups and all. But I think that's a discussion for another day.
Yeah.
And that's a very interesting topic. I must take it up in one of my episodes. That how architecture graduates can look at startups
Yeah.
as a profession. It's a
Yeah.
very good topic. So okay, so let's bring it to a close, and I think you have been absolutely fantastic. Thank you for
So
joining
have
us
you.
today. Okay, thank you.
you.
Bye bye, and thank you for listening in. And I hope that we could bring some interesting and some tough questions to answer. Thank you.